By the end of this video, you will be able to scrape any website and train the chatbot with its content. So without any further ado, let's just get into the demo straight away. Here I am trying to scrape webscraping.dev. This is a website developed for learning scraping and doing experiments. So this is basically the e-commerce page which is showing the hiking boots and its price. So let's go to our n8n agent, and if I input the URL here in this URL section, I use method as get, and then once I execute the workflow, the whole data will flow through this n8n and then it will the contents will store in the Supabase vector store, which we will connect to the AI agent and a chatbot. So once I ask it the price of the hiking boots, it will check with the Supabase vector store and it will provide me with the answer. As you can see, it's showing the price of the hiking boots is 89.99 discounted from the original price of 99.99. So the requirements for this n8n workflow setup is, first thing, you need to have a Crawl4AI scraper, which is an open source, but you need to host it over a cloud platform. In this example, I have chosen DigitalOcean because it's ease of use and I prefer it. But you can use any VPS of your choice. We also need to have an n8n on cloud, of course. Then you need to have an account with Supabase. You need to have an OpenAI API key. And then last but not the least, you need to have a URL to scrape. Now for the steps, I think the first step what we will do is we will set up Crawl4AI on the DigitalOcean VPS. Then we will move towards configuring Supabase on this n8n platform, and then we can configure the other nodes. So as we discussed, the first step, Crawl4AI on DigitalOcean VPS. So let's just head over to DigitalOcean VPS. Here, the first step, this is my dashboard, and here you need to go to create and then on this app platform. Once you click over it, you will get the screen like this, wherein you can search the app which you want, but the Crawl4AI is not directly available on this repository. For that, you need to go to the Docker Hub as shown in the screen, hub.docker.com, and when you search Crawl4AI, you select this repository, unclecode/Crawl4AI. So simply copy this repository and search over it here. Maybe you can get it in Docker Hub, and you can just post this repository name here. Then for the image tag or digest, again head over to this dockerhub.com, and if you go on this, there is a two tabs, overview tab and the tags tab. So once you click on the tags tab, you will get lots of versions. From here you can see separated by this colon, latest to 0 or 0.7. You can select any version of your choice and just specify it in here. The next step, we will see all the settings for your app. So this is my app. I'm gonna see and show you all the settings. So let's head over to settings and the Crawl4AI app. For the resource size, I have selected as 4 GB RAM, 2 shared CPUs, and 250 GB bandwidth. However, you are free to choose based on your application and the task estimated task size. Then here it shows the repository which we have chosen, Crawl4AI, and the tag I am using as basic AMD64. Now, very important, environment variables. Here you have to define the security key. So for the key, I have used Crawl4AI API token, which I have extracted from the documents or of Crawl4AI, and then you have to give the value. This is your password which you are gonna keep here. This I'm using it for just for the training purpose. Later on I will delete this. In the ports you have to select 1 1 2 3 4 5 as extracted from the documents again. Now once you have this application set up, you will see a link here, URL. Once you click on it, it will open this Crawl4AI documentation. That means your app has been hosted successfully and without any issues. So our first step of hosting Crawl4AI on DigitalOcean VPS is completed. Now the second step, we will move over to configuring Supabase and then defining it in the n8n. So let's head over to Supabase website, and here I have opened an account with it. It's a free account basically. So once you set up your account, you give any project name. The most important thing is the project URL and the data API URL and the API keys, which you will get if I select API keys on the left side and select this service role secret, and if I reveal, and I need to copy this, and data API, it will show us the project URL which you can copy here. I will give this workflow in the comments section, the link to it. The entire workflow with all its configured parameters will be available. So here in this node Supabase vector store, here we have to configure the Supabase account. Let's say if we create a new account, here in the host section you give the URL which we get from this site. Just copy and paste this URL over here, then head over to service role secret. Here we get this value from API keys, and here it's showing service role API key, service role secret. Just click on reveal, copy, and again paste it over here. So I'm not doing it because I have already configured it. Now let's head back over here. So now with the first two steps done, I mean hosting Crawl4AI on DigitalOcean VPS and configuring Supabase over n8n, now let's move to our complete workflow. So this is the workflow. We have the first node as the trigger node. Then this is the HTTP request. We configure the method as get, and the URL we provide, which is the URL for scraping. Here I am using test URL for scraping. And I'm using sitemap.xml because sitemap will give all the URLs within that website. The second node is XML to JSON, which is just converting XML data into JSON for ease of use in n8n. Then we have a split out node. Why we are using this node is just because if let's say it has a website has 30 to 50 URLs. So just to separate all these URLs into separate line items, we use this split out node, and the configuration we just use URL set.url. So then we have a loop section here wherein we are calling the Crawl4AI scraping function. So we loop over items. We define this node just to loop. I will tell you, explain you the reason. The HTTP request one, here we define method as post to call the Crawl4AI agent. Here we use the URL which we used to host Crawl4AI on DigitalOcean, but we give /crawl as extracted from the Crawl4AI documentation. So this URL you can copy from here, from your app platform, the app name which I have defined in my for Crawl4AI app, and you take this URL and paste it over here, and /crawl is very important because that will trigger the crawl function. You come down, body content type JSON, and use this value as I have given in the comment section, the entire workflow. So this first request will trigger the Crawl4AI node, and The Crawl4AI scraper will extract the URL based on the input which we provide in this HTTP node. Now, whether in this first request it will extract all the data, it depends upon the contents. So ideally we plan to wait for it for 5 seconds. So we have put up a wait node and we have given the amount of 5 seconds to wait for the entire data to be extracted. And then we have used this HTTP request 2 as a check node, whether all the data has been extracted from the URL. So what we gonna do is we are using method as get URL. We use the same as DigitalOcean crawl for AI URL, but here the only difference is we give /task and /JSON task ID, because we need to reference each URL as a task and to check whether that task has been completed or not. So that's why we use a if node. If it's not completed, it will go again in the loop, and that's why we have used this loop portion here. And once it's completed, it will go to the true branch and it will save into the Supabase vector store. Now, Supabase vector store, we have defined Supabase account and all those things. But in the Supabase also, to set up the database, we have to configure the SQL part. So you head over to SQL editor. Then in this you need to put the SQL code, but you don't need to code anything. You can get it easily. If you open the Supabase vector store here, go back to the docs, and then if you go back, click on this link quick start for setting up the vector store, you will get the SQL part here. Just simply copy this SQL and paste it in the SQL editor in the Supabase and click on run. I'm not running it because it's already set up. You can test it whether it's done or not in the table editor. Here you see it's coming it as documents. That means it's been set up correctly. So this is very important to set up our database. And then just simply use embeddings OpenAI for storing in embedding form, default data loader, character test splitter. The contents of this are again in the workflow. Now this is a small sub workflow. The whatever data we store in the Supabase vector store, we connect it with the AI agent and to the chat trigger. So whenever we ask the chatbot with our query, the agent will check in the Supabase vector database, which we have extracted from the website, and give us the correct answer. So here let's run this workflow again and see how it works. So I'm just gonna execute the workflow. See all the steps. It's waiting for the first extraction for 5 seconds, running, saving. Then it's going for the second iteration. Then the third iteration, and it will keep on doing it until the point where it has extracted all the URLs and saved in the Supabase vector store. As you can see, it's done 5 iterations. Here I'm gonna just take a break because the motive of this video is just to show how it works, and then you can do on your own. So I'm just gonna stop this. And our data is already stored in the Supabase vector store, which you can cross check from this Supabase account and go into the data table editor, and here you will see all your content, the URLs and the metadata and embeddings. So now whatever data has been stored, we can ask the query to this database and it will give us the answer. Now let's try another data. For example, what are the features of of the hiking boots. So I'm gonna ask this in an n8n chatbot. And let's see whether it works. It has extracted this data or not. As you can see, the chatbot agent is checking the Supabase vector store and it has returned us with this answer. Material, comfort, traction, feet design, sizes, brand care instructions, which we can again find it over here. So that means our project of scraping the website, converting it into chatbot has worked as required. So I'm gonna put a link for this entire workflow with configurations in the comment section, in the description section. And if you have any doubts or if you feel any requirement to give any feedback on this video, then please feel free. It will help me to improve. I will also make a follow-up video on details of this chatbot and Postgres chat memory on this setup. So keep in touch and please kindly let me know your feedback. And if you find that this video has added any value, so kindly consider to subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.